It's also got, it always amazes me, focus at the 19. It's a real rat. That might fit on the bike, it's bigger than the bike. I'm using it a lot on the street. I think I've made some better, I'll probably take the heads off. The first car I had when I was 17 was a bright yellow Baja Bug. And the first car I got when I got here to Australia 20 years ago was also a bright yellow Baja Bug. And it was a Bug Eyed Baja Bug, which looked really cool. I still have it now. Look at his face. Actually, even before I was 17, when I was about 13, I had a Baja Bug too. I had a Tamiya Sand Scorcher.
And here comes the Sand Scorcher down this dune.
I also had a Bug Pack catalogue. A few years after that, I used to look through and wonder where all these bits and pieces went. But I still thought they were all awesome, and I dreamt about building a Baja Bug one day. There was a yellow Baja Bug used to drive around my town, and as it happens, my mum knew the bloke and was speaking to him, and he was saying he was selling it. So I saved up my money and I bought it. It was my first car. I've always been into cars and bikes, well, stuff with wheels really, and I've always been into modifying stuff because I'm a rev head. And this is why I initially became a mechanic. Well, I got kicked out of college and became a mechanic. But being a mechanic for so many years absolutely killed my passion for cars and bikes. And I was absolutely sick of them at one point. But I've been off the tools now for a few years and I've really got my passion back again. And I'm really keen to get my Baja Bug back on the road, back on the beach, go to shows with it and have some fun with it. So these videos, as much as anything, are to keep me accountable so that I pull my finger out, get my arse in gear and get the bug going again. So that's good news for you guys because you get to see content, and it's good news for this guy. This is my 69 VW Baja Bug. And so I believe I've got keys in my pocket. I like to start it up every now and again. Because it's a runner, it's just not on the road yet. I let the registration run out when I bought the house actually, and I didn't really want to pay the rego. That was probably 10 years ago. So it hasn't been on the road for 10 years, but I've kept it running. And just so that when I do come to get it on the road very shortly, all I need to do is a couple of little bits and pieces and it's all good. But right, and start it up to keep the battery going and stuff like that and keep everything free. Oh, it's flat. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Nah, that's a shame. We're gonna have to charge the battery up. But I'll do that and I'll show you this later. Right, that's been on charge for a day or two. I'm sort of just filming this whenever I get, well, whenever I'm doing stuff. So let's see. So let's see what happens now. Right, is this gonna start now? Only on 3 cylinders though, it does this. This is where I'm at with the bug at the moment. It's pretty much all together and everything's sort of working, but needs a few bits and bobs for roadworthy, and the engine needs to be sorted out to get it running a little bit better because it's not ticking over properly and it's misfiring and stuff. But it's all pretty much there. These electric windows are a pain in the arse. One-piece windows, but I've got some new doors and I've got all the original windows for them doors, so that should be easily sorted out. I've got to do a few bits and pieces in there. I love the way it looks. It's a real rat. So the engine's a 2.1 litre with twin 40s and an Engel 110 cam. I'll probably take the heads off, make sure the barrels and everything are okay, because it's got inlet leaks, it's got exhaust leaks, so I'll sort all that out at the same time, and I can get to the gearbox a bit better as well, because the boots are split on the axles. And I did all the brakes not long ago, so all the brakes and suspension, steering, everything's okay, so it should be alright. Lights and stuff aren't working, but that's pretty simple, but that's where I'm at the moment. I'm probably just going to get a roadworthy on it, so I can get it registered, and then I can actually use it, and then I'll just slowly get it better like that. It would be nice if I had a nice workshop and I could take the body off and do a full restow and stuff on it, but for now it's just going to have to be a Baja rat rod, I reckon. The back's jacked up on the frame there. Got myself a good deal on some jack stands from Super Cheap Auto because I'm a club member. So get yourself down to Super Cheap if you want some good stuff. I'm not sponsored by them in any way, but you're totally welcome to sponsor me if you like Super Cheap, or anyone really. There you go, pretty sturdy. Not very big, but they'll do. I really wasn't sure where to start, so I just decided I'd start somewhere and start on the motor. So I've just taken the cage off, and I really quite enjoyed rolling around dealing with all the oil and stuff underneath, but it's good now because I can get to everything. I can sort the little oil leaks out and stuff like that. And this is a bash guard I made. There's an aluminium plate goes on that. I was living in a rental house, so I'd only had my gas and smig, and I didn't have a lot of stuff, and this is actually made out of some old railings. So there's a lot of things adapted on this car, but there you go, there's the 2.1 litre motor which I built. I might do a whole video on that. Well, I'm actually going to strip it down a little bit. I'm going to take the heads off, see what it's like. I don't think I'm going to get into the bottom end right now, but it's nice to get everything apart so I can clean it up, make it all look nice, make it run right. That's the oil breather I made for the Bug, and looking at the filter on it, that might fit on the bike. It's bigger than the bike one. I might put that on. Let's see if it fits. Why doesn't a 19 fit on there? Because it's not 19. Right, that's it. 13/16, which is spark plug socket size. I don't know what that is in real measurement, in metric measurement. Right, because it is 21st century now. I don't know why people still use imperial stuff. But luckily Volkswagen were wise to that years ago, and everything's metric. Oh shit, there's tons of water in there. Right, where have I got to? I've taken the tinware off and the carbs off, so I can now pull the engine so I can get to the axle boots a lot easier, and I can sort out all the oil leaks and stuff and clean it up and tidy things up around here. I'm going to pull the heads off just to check the bores, make sure they're okay. Hopefully they are, because I really don't want to take the pistons out, because I don't want to buy a ring compressor. I don't know where my one went. But I might take them off before I pull a motor, just so the motor's a little bit lighter to move around, or I might leave it like that. I don't know. It always amazes me when you see engines stripped down like this in the car, and the size of the pistons compared with the weight and size of the car, how much power this little engine produces and propels that thing along. Also, while this is out, this is an early 67 gearbox, so it doesn't have the guide tube for the thrust bearing. So in the past I've had trouble with it falling off, like it has done there, look. I did make some better, by the looks of things, I think I've made some better clamps for that. It's also got, I've had to modify that and put a different starter motor bushing in because it's a 12 volt starter and a 6 volt gearbox. Also, because of the later motor in with a bigger flywheel, I've had to grind them off a little bit at some point, but they're all easy modifications to make stuff fit. I've also solid mounted it as well. I just welded up some plates, and there's a gearbox plate at the front which I made. I might show you that later. And my clutch, I think it's a stock clutch plate, but it's 1700 pound Kennedy pressure plate. I didn't go for, I was going to put a ceramic clutch in it, but I'm using it a lot on the street, and I'm not like drag racing it and launching off the line, so it should be pretty good. Well, it is pretty good. It's tried and tested. So that's where I'm up to at the moment. In the next video, I'm going to be showing you what I found inside the bores and what's happened to the clutch and stuff. I've got to order a few more parts now, fabricate a few more things. I'll probably show you that. Not sure when. I do have a full-time job at the moment, as well as the bobber content and other online stuff. So I'm not getting too much time to work on this. So that's why I'm not making these videos really. So I'm holding myself accountable to you guys to get my arse in gear and get it done. Also, I'm going to Willowbank again with the bike in a couple of weeks. So there's plenty more content coming out about that. Trying to get a 10-second quarter out of it. So don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, and I'll get back to you. Oh, and what sort of content do you want to see? What do you want to see me doing with the bike, the bug, whatever? Comment below and I'll consider it. Have a great day.